God tier podcast, the coolest battle rap podcast in the world, live on No Jumper with my co-host.
You feel me? Trying to party hard till the next Mardi Gras. Finna run up in your spot without 10 Samoan bodyguards. You play a partner Uno, baby.
Who do we have today, man?
Man, we got the bar god himself.
Absolutely.
The figure of Figueroa.
Go figure it out.
Come on.
What's up, my
Yikes.
Yikes.
My brother.
Yikes.
The most... which one of y'all two is the most passionate about this battle rap?
This is probably the only other person I'll let argue with me about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Battle
I don't
rap
know.
is
Like, it's Danny's displayed definitely a crazy amount of it. Like, just your passion for this shit. I can say besides me, man, it's unmatched.
Thank
know
you,
what I mean?
brother. Thank you, brother. Man, I can say the same thing about you.
Yeah,
man.
right,
You know
right.
what I
It's
mean?
like, we already off to this mirror match start. Yeah, man, it's crazy. And our battle was a crazy battle that
Yeah,
reflected
man.
that.
My first million view battle. Thanks to you.
Oh,
And the-
God.
and the-
Come on, bring it over here, man.
And that's crazy considering like the insane amount of accolades you have in your career.
Yeah.
You got to be up there, both of y'all, as well as far as the most frequently battled. You know, like
Yeah.
you're up there with Dre Dennis. Not too many people have done as many battles.
Yeah, man. This is constant work, man. I think it just comes from the work ethic of when I was just battling at Crenshaw High. It was like we had to battle every day.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so you went to Crenshaw. That's so interesting you brought that up because as transparent of a person as you are, I feel like there's a lot of mystery around Danny
All right.
Myers and the origin of Danny Myers and all that. Like, I've known you were from LA this whole time.
Yeah.
Never knew where you went to high school.
Oh, yeah. Crenshaw, man. You know, came from growing up in Watts, moved to the Pueblo Halls, moved to South Central.
You a project baby, for real, for real.
Straight up. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? I was in Watts before Active in them. You know what I'm saying? I'm older. So,
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah, clearly you were there before them.
hell yeah. So yeah, I just grew up in South Central, man, and went to Crenshaw High, and it was like a lot of battle rap groups. And in Los Angeles at that time, it was a new scene, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because it was a lot of Smack DVD shit going on back in those days.
What year,
prior
just to clarify, what
this
year?
was 95, 96, 97, 98.
It's like predates Smack DVD.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
yeah, I mean,
Smack. Yeah.
right. I started battling in 92. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I go back that far.
You might be the first. Because I did my first battle, I was like in 96.
Wow.
And, right around you were like 97 around that time. So
No, I didn't even battle in
What?
97. Nope, I didn't do my first battle till like 99. I was a
Wow.
battle rapper in 98, but I wasn't out there battling people. I was just writing punchlines, practicing on my friends, battling them, but I wasn't a battle rap. I never had battled an actual MC back then. You know what I mean? I was
So,
in Lebanon in
what?
98.
you
so-
battle rapping when like Rob Bass was popping and shit.
Man,
like
look, man. I'm not that old. I'm just joking.
I mean, it was 98 for me. Look, I lived in Lebanon in 98, so there's no way I could have battled out there. It wasn't a thing. My first couple of months in America in 99, I just immediately just started coming at anybody I would see. I started at Parthenia Park, and I was battling people in cafeterias and shit like that, school shit, fucking parking lots, parties, and then it just kept on going to like shoe stores, record stores, then bong shops, bubblers type of shit, and then the basement and all that, and it just, we here.
Is that where the pit came? Is that where
The pit came later on. The pit came, 2005, and there was already Project Blowed, and there was a lot of scenes. But like in
Absolutely.
West LA, there was this like void again, and it was just more of a. It was more of a because the pit encompassed like industry people too, and like rappers that K Dot was up there. There was a lot of people that were up there. Tyrese was hosting. Redman used to come through that bitch. There's a lot of people that used to be up there.
AC Alone,
And,
Freestyle
yeah, I
Fellowship.
mean they're mainly bloatings, but
Yeah.
they showed up too. But I think that's what it was. The pit was just a culmination of just all of them, just everybody from around LA in the different areas, and from Compton to Watts to Inglewood, like the best people from every area showed up over there. So it was like the hub, more like, you know what I mean? At one point, it didn't really have its own identity, but it was for the whole entire city.
So, I mean, at the time, obviously, early 90s, gangster rap is the most prominent thing in
Right.
LA. And, gangbanging culture
Facts.
is super prevalent.
Big facts.
And I assume that affected your upbringing.
Absolutely, man. My whole family, we was, gangbangers. So that's I had the choice of doing what they was doing, my dad, his uncle, his brothers, or I could rap and get out of that, find an alternative, because I was seeing the results of, all my uncles getting shot, drive-bys, my dad 20 years in prison. It was just like, damn, man, I could do this, what they doing, but I'm seeing like this ain't working. You know what I mean? So I think rap kind of basically saved my life.
Interesting. And how early on in the inception of your hip hop journey did battling come into play?
92, man. I think, it really, once I heard Solo Nice, once I heard Ras Kass, it kind of gave me the hope that, somebody from the West Coast can make it by being lyrical, so to speak, because West Coast hip hop was known more for the G-funk and the laid back and the gangster rap, but it was like the lyricism that, I was listening to, like Cool G Rap and Redman and Chino XL, and I'm like listening to all these metaphors and punchlines. So when I hear Ras Kass, it was like, damn, you actually can be from. Then I heard Crooked Eye, and I'm like, yo, I can do this coming from here. You know what I mean? I didn't think there was many outlets in terms of coming from Los Angeles to getting seen, to getting seen outside of like going to Project Blowed and things of that nature to pick.
LA was slow on the battle rap thing compared to the rest of the country, bro.
So were you aware of like the pit? Oh, so you moved.
So I moved to New York City.
Really? Yeah, that's what he said. I brought that up in the battle. I was like, you moved out there to battle rap? I was like, what?
Yeah, I moved in 2000.
I just laughed.
I moved in 2000. I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. I didn't know anybody out there. I'm trying to find Smack, J Mills, whoever. I just jumped on a Greyhound and went with
insane
my bag of clothes, bag of shoes. No,
it's so crazy how similar his story
very
is.
Similar to you.
He trips me the fuck out, this guy, man. Yeah. Like he I have such a similar story. Chicago, but yeah.
That's what I'm about to say. I believe you went to Chicago.
No,
and
similar
you were sleeping on like a
yeah. You remind me of
same shit, bro.
That's crazy. Shit.
I went to New York, slept on park benches, and like right when I got off the Greyhound, I was at the what's it called? The Port Authority. Port Authority. You get to the Port Authority. I get off the bus.
The roughest toilet paper in the entire world is like made from the human skull fragments.
So here I am, New York City, fresh from LA, not knowing nobody out here. I asked this guy, kid walking by, I say, yo, where they be rapping that out here? He said, yo,
that sounds about
just walk a couple streets down to 42nd, go in front of the Virgin Megastore. They gonna be out there. I walked a couple blocks down, my bags and shit. Here goes this cipher, big ass cipher. So there's Shells. Yeah, I know you.
Of course. Come on
Shells
now.
is out there. SAS from London.
The Dipset affiliates.
They was there. Lady Luck was there.
Shouts out to Lady
Everybody's
Luck.
ciphering and battling.
You got off at the right bus time.
This is destiny, right?
Yeah,
that's so
So
cool.
I jump in the cipher, I start spitting, and after the battle, after the cipher, they're like, yo, where you from? You don't even sound like you're from out here. I said, yo, I'm from LA. He was like, what? Like LA niggas can rap like that? And it was
I can vouch for this being a thing because I also went out to New York in my early days too, and being out there, a common thing that was said to us is, y'all rap like that in LA? Like, because I think it's because we're both influenced by the Cool G raps, that you know what I'm saying, like the big L's. We like that type of just syllabic patterning, you know what I mean?
And they thought everyone was like, I'm bending corners.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, we got
that's a real, to undermine that, because that is Los Angeles and West Coast culture. But what people didn't have was the idea that how eclectic the rap scene is. Even if you look at just California rap in general, where you got the Bay Area sound, you got the San Diego sound, you got Sacramento, hieroglyphics, all these people, right? Planet Asia.
Right.
It's Ras Kass, all the way from Too Short to Ice Cube to Ice-T, and it just goes on. South Central Cartel, it just goes on and on.
Let's be clear though, one of them is a natural style, and the other thing requires skill. So you get what I'm saying?
That's a good
one is
take.
a natural style, and we like natural style. You might be gifted with a natural style and ability to just sound crispy when you're rapping and how you
Have a
look
cool
and everything.
voice.
Have a cool voice.
Like
you might
Snoop
be born.
Dogg.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you ain't
saying?
gonna sound cooler than Snoop no matter what you do.
Nobody.
But the other thing
Yeah.
requires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was heavily influenced by, like you said, these guys are tattooed on my arm. You know,
Yeah,
I
right.
got Big Pun, Big L here,
Well, yeah,
Biggie's
those
there,
fire.
Box there. I was listening to that and just blending it with just natural West Coast sound. And you get Danny Myers, like this melting pot of styles.
So that
Makes sense.
that cipher ends, and you have no money. You're assed out essentially.
I'm sleeping Central Park. I'm sleeping at Central Park, man, with my bags, and I'm just walking back and forth from Central Park to the Virgin Megastore. It was right there in the heart of Times Square.
How
And
you
I
eat?
don't even know if it's there anymore.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think the mega store is
The Virgin Megastore?
I don't know if it
Virgin
is.
It was
Yeah.
a 2-level.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's there, but I would just go back and forth and man, it was crazy because the struggle was real, man. Like I'm like living at the park and then spinning the best raps ever in the hopes of, and then somebody's like, yo, man, there's this dude named Jay Mills. I think you and him, y'all need to battle. And there's this guy named T-Rex. And yo, man, who are you out here with? Like, where do you live at? And I'm like, I'm kind of just in the wind right now, bro. I don't really. So, SAS was trying to look out for me, Shells, and everybody's like, wait, we're going to get you in front of the right people.
So did you
know what
start
I'm
couch surfing then and things like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I started couch surfing and shit like that, and I wound up moving to Brooklyn. Shout out to my dude Danny. His name is Danny too.
Danny and Danny.
Yeah, nah, he hooked me up. I stayed with him and started meeting Ruff. I met DNY and wound up battling Drag On.
Wow.
And
I heard you talk about this before. I was going to ask you about
and
this.
Drag On.
You go ahead and tell us.
I did what I did.
First of all, how do you battle?
Was it over a beat?
Nah, we was in the street.
Okay.
We was in the street.
So like his vocal
Not just
projection,
that.
his vocal projection is 0.
Well, he has a bad stutter, is his thing.
Like I just feel like, how did he battle you? Like he has bars.
He's probably spit
He has
probably
bars.
something from a
I'm
song
saying
or a
his.
mixtape.
I want to know what his. Like, how did he come at you? Is he aggressive like that? He's like, I'm
Nah,
drag on. I come with the
yeah,
fire.
It was like that. Yeah, it was like that.
Like,
It
it's not
wasn't-
really a battle.
So
he's
then
a
when I
dope
went-
lyricist, though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he is,
when it was
man.
my
He's nice
turn,
as fuck.
I went,
Drag on, nice as hell, man.
And so he's like, he went to DNY. I was like, yo, y'all should work with this dude. Y'all should sign this dude. Meanwhile, their sister Siobhan Dean, she was trying to start her own label, and she was like, I want to get you involved with this label. I'm trying to get off the ground, and I wound up meeting Papoose and Williamsburg Projects. 199 Stag Walk, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting out there. I'm living with the security dude, Danny. I'm on the bench. I see Papoose, and I know it's Papoose. I just seen him in the damn magazine. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Papoose. I run up on him. I'm like, yo, man, like, you're Papoose. I just heard you on G-Rap's project. You know what I'm saying? He's like, what? Who are you? And how do you, wait, you're from L.A.? And I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, he's like, I didn't even know people from L.A. knew who I was. I'm like, nah,
Damn.
bro. Like, people that listen to the bars, we you know what I'm saying?
Super early days. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And he spit this rap called "I Spit Your Head Off," and he had like a chorus to it, like he'd do like this spitting phlegm. He go, "I spit your head off," something, dun, 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 I spit your head off. So he spits
That's
that.
a sick ass.
Can we say pause?
Sick ass concept.
Can we
though.
say pause?
Nah,
for spit
there's
your head off?
there's no pause.
Nah,
I'm
I
a
like
pause
the
it.
concept of
It
that.
made me
No
uncomfortable.
pause.
Man,
But
fuck
anyway,
all that. I like the concept of that, like spitting your head off.
If Papoose, he'll know.
But yeah,
I told him when I
saying.
saw
Pause.
For New Yorkers, yeah, no,
I
we got to
just-
be mindful of them. Yo, pause, son. But yo,
right,
continue.
whatever.
Shout out to Pap, though. He's the man.
Shout out to Pap. So I spit my round, and he rapped his shit, and it was like, yo, I felt like I was coming into my own. I'm like, yo, I'm not out here for nothing. Something's gonna happen from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
Because you like living the dream. You out there kind of, you kind of stumbled. You took yourself out there. You
Yeah.
put yourself on the
Yeah,
plane. You're just
yeah.
a kid from Cali. And then you stumble across
all
people,
these-
and it leads you from one person, and it all
Right.
started from what? The one guy that you came up to and
Right.
was like, where do they battle
You see
at?
how this all puzzles together? Right. It
That's
all started
fire.
from that guy.
So you like
just-
living it. You in a movie right now. I get it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And all that,
I
I
feel
wound
it.
up meeting so many different people and, here
How
we
long
are.
is this
I'm
time
on no
period?
jump. From 2000 to 2006.
So you're in New York for 6 years.
Yeah, back and forth from there, between there and Indiana, Kentucky, Detroit. I'm just bouncing all, chasing a dream.
And it makes
Chasing
sense
a dream.
why you could relate and you go to so many states, you battle in
Right.
all the leagues because you're already comfortable. You
Yeah.
a vagabond of battle rap.
Yeah, so to speak,
you
man.
a
I mean,
vagabond battler. That's fire, man.
so, I wind up moving to Las Vegas, 2006.
Okay.
And that's
The A-hat
right.
shit.
So in
Yeah.
2006, are you seeing like the jump off WRCs like the Saurus and
Yeah,
Ilmac
I'm
and
watching all that Blaze battles. everything,
battles,
Ilmac,
Well,
Fight
Blaze was
Club
before
and-
that, though, but yeah.
I've seen,
Yeah,
but
Blaze was
from
before that.
some of the
Yeah.
90s, from that, I think that was on.
That was
Because it was on
99.
HBO and BET.
HBO.
But it was on HBO first, I think, right? Or no, BET
I think
first.
it was Showtime.
Man,
That's what
listen.
it
No,
was.
no, it was HBO. But I think it was BET first or second. They
was
switched
Showtime.
channels on it. You know
Right
what I mean?
before I moved to Vegas, I was a part of this MTV2 Battle Rap tournament.
Yeah, and I
that's when-
remember that shit too.
And I beat my first opponent, and my very next opponent was Quest McCody. And it was like, you got this guy named Quest McCody coming up.
Wow.
And I ran out of money. It was like the battle was weeks away. I didn't have a choice. I had to leave. I left. And they never even aired any of those battles like that, I don't think.
Was it part of that making a battle?
Not
rap
making a
battle?
band, not making a band.
Not making a battle rapper.
No, so what happened
Something
was
like that.
what happened was Quest wound up.
Getting his own shit from it.
He
Makes
did.
sense.
Yeah.
He became a coach on that. Or
Wow.
he wound up battling Apollo on
Making a battle rapper.
No,
or
it's
something like that.
it was True Life. I want to be a battle rapper.
Okay, something like
is
that,
what
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
See, I told y'all. I know what I'm talking about. I was there. I did all this. You feel me? So anyway, I moved to Vegas, and one of my homeboys knows that I'm a battle rapper. He knows I rap and all this. He's like, "Yo, man, this dude named OD out here, and he does this thing called A-Hat." And he's like, "Man, you should try it out." I went and tried it out. I battled some guy. OD never dropped the battle. Never dropped it. Never
And
came out.
What year is this? Like 08?
2006.
Oh, still. Oh, so A-Hat was popping in 06.
Yeah, man.
And
2007.
so that's the crazy thing is people think that Grind Time was like literally the first, but it really was just like there was a bunch of little insular scenes
Yeah.
that were doing their own thing that people weren't even aware of. A-Hat was pumping the whole time. That Grind Time was.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It just kind of the two scenes never
Shout out to Interstate Fats.
intersected.
Yeah, he was nice. Dom's.
Fat
Yeah,
man.
Dom's Gage,
they're
Donnie
all-
Menace, Artisan, Nove.
Artisan and Nove, man. They was the first viral boys right there, man. Shout out to
Shout
them,
out
man.
to OD R&B for the A-Hat thing. And so from there, anyway, he vaulted the first battle, I didn't go back. I was like, I ain't doing it no more. So I battled. They didn't drop the battle. I'm cool. I'm done with it. And so Interstate Fats calls me. He's like, yo, I remember you from that first tryout night, man. Listen, got another card coming up. I really need you to do it for me, man. Just do this for me. I went and did it. And from there,
At that point, were you a little bit like over it? Like, you know what, this shit ain't going nowhere.
I was kind of over with A-Hat.
Right.
Not in terms of battle rap, but just A-Hat.
What year is
Right.
this?
Yeah, this is 2006, 7, 8, around
Okay.
that time. I got to look at the date of the battle. But anyway, I didn't, so I did the next battle, and then I took off from there. Man.
And it's crazy because you were on A-Hat for like 4 or 5 years
Yeah, I know
straight,
where this is going.
essentially. Because in 2013,
Let's go.
in 2013,
Here we go.
Let's go.
through Aspect One and I
Yeah.
watching you
Yeah.
and realizing that you were a big problem and really just hadn't gotten the light you deserved. We're like, let's give him a King of the Dot tryout battle, a
Yeah.
ground zero.
Yeah.
And here's the fun, a crazy story that people don't know. And we were trying to figure out who your opponent was gonna be. It was so this is October of 2013, and Disaster was headlining the main card.
Yes.
against A Verb. Pass was on the card. Charlie Clips versus Dirtbag Dan. There's a whole bunch of dope. That's Big K versus Ilmac was on that card as well. Correct. And we were trying to figure out the day one card, which is and you had a big buzz. So we're like, Danny can headline this tryout card. And we kind of had the feeling like, this dude will wind up graduating real quick. We didn't know how quick, but we knew quick. And your opponent the original opponent, do you remember it was supposed to be Fredo Algebra? You were supposed to battle Fredo. And Fredo was like, I don't really know who this Danny Myers guy is. Like, I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know if I want to make this. I don't know if I want to do it. Let's talk about it. I'm like bribing him. I'm like, fuck it, we'll give you $400. Just do the battle. He's like, I'll let you know. And I was like, you need to let me know by this specific date at this time. Yeah. And he wound up not letting me know by the deadline, and we already had Rum Nitty as the backup battle. And I had first seen Rum in 2009. I hosted a battle in Arizona called the Sand Trap, and I recognized him, and I was like, this dude's gonna be popping. My boy Keith Wright put me onto him. I was like, but nothing really made sense. I had booked him earlier in the year against Conscious Pilot, and he had a dope back and forth. Yeah. But he wound up like choking in his third round. Yeah. So like the momentum kind of died. So we're like, but then Fredo didn't hit me back. Rum was the next in line. We're like, all right, let's do Rum Nitty versus Danny Myers. And then Fredo winds up calling me back 15 minutes later, but it was already booked. But thank God he pump faked on that. Yeah. Because that battle. Yeah. Set off both of y'all careers.
I want to say
now y'all are two of the biggest.
A reoccurring theme. Gotta give Lush his flowers, man. It seems like no matter who we interview, and we're not doing this on purpose, it's just work. What work looks like. Right. It's this reoccurring theme of, and not to say you wasn't doing what you was doing, but you didn't get that look that you necessarily deserved, and it seems like Lush always is right there. He sees that, and it's crazy because who the fuck would have known like really how crazy you would have turned out to be? I didn't, and I was there for the first one, and I was actually super impressed by you, and you could tell on fucking camera.
People said that I was overreacting, but it was because I understood the gravity of the moment that I was witnessing. Absolutely. And you've always look, but we were just talking to Dumbfounded about this. It's not one person that puts somebody on. It takes a village to create a star. And you've always given me my flowers and respect for what I've contributed to not just your legacy, but
everybody's
beautiful thing.
The world of battle rap in general.
Yeah, I said they need to make a statue of Lush one of these days, man.
And like he's saying, and it's a humble thing, like there's a lot of people that play into how, and you made yourself. Nobody started you or created you, but it's always that like influence and that right guidance, I feel like. And Absolutely. People, that's why the right people should be in the culture at the forefront that understand that and could see ahead of time, because that takes like a fucking whole visionary mind. Like we knew you was going to be dope, but we didn't know you were going to be like the fucking craziest battle rapper ever.
Aspect really believed in you.
I appreciate that.
Aspect was a big supporter of you, and like was really. What did it feel like at that moment? Like were you like, okay, I'm about to be on now? All this grinding is getting to a new height.
When you watch Disaster, and you see him, one of the biggest battlers in the world, and he's right there next to you, and you're fresh on the scene. It's like it's a dream come true. It's like if somebody's trying to get it in the music business, and like you got Jay-Z right here and Nas is over here, and you're going crazy on the mic, and then they're behind.
That's amazing.
They're reacting to your bars. So when you got Daylight, and then we got you, and we got Disaster, I'm looking at this whole moment like, yo, this is everybody there knew it. They knew like this is a moment. In the culture.
It felt like it.
It just felt like it.
But it's good to know your perspective.
It wasn't necessarily planned to be a classic. It was like, let's put these two dope newcomers together and let's see what happens. And that's how that shit happened.
Well, because it's difficult to premeditate chemistry.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know if you and Rum had ever been in the same room prior to that.
Man, no, never. I never seen him. I never spoke with him. Never. didn't even. I saw the Conscious Pilot battle, and I was like, yeah, he's got bars. That's all I knew about him. And even when he walked into the building, his eyes were bloodshot red. He's got the Scully down, and he's like,
yeah, that Rum had the look that day.
He looks dangerous. Like he looks like he ain't.
He was just missing the pair of black forces.
Right, that went with the whole
cipher complete.
Even during the battle, I accidentally, I'm wilding. I touch his chain. He's like, hey, don't touch my chain.
Yep.
So now it's like, shit. Like, what kind of shit we finna be in? You know what I'm saying? So now, when the bars are flying, and now it's like the ice is broken, the tension is broken. Now we're clapping fives. Now we're reacting to each other's bars. Now it's fun. It's not such that dark feel. You feel me? So that's how it was crazy how that battle happened because I didn't know him. He didn't know me, and he was like, he's a no nonsense type of fella. You know what I'm saying? So am I. So neither one of us is with the bullshit. You know what I mean? And we wound up becoming friends from that battle.
And fast forward 9 years.
9 years later.
And here we are. Actually, by the time people see this, the rematch will have already occurred.
Yeah.
But it's about to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
And y'all have both had astronomical success. Two of the most beloved battle rappers in history, and it's incredible. I just want to shout out like the two of y'all, and then add Disaster, Geechee, B. Day, like all these. The fact that there's all these people from LA, from the West Coast, past from the Bay Area, all these Californians in this conversation, like never was the case back in the day.
Never, and the West Coast has really come up so much. And here's one of the four founders. But
you know what's crazy though, Danny? You know what's crazy is that I always wanted something like this. Like I always felt like in the beginning, I just felt like there needed to be more reinforcements. And like now standing here 10, 12 years later, and it's like there's like 10 of us that could just start right now. It's just a beautiful thing. And we all contributed into building those people because you battled a lot of these people, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
You battled everyone. So you're part of we're part of the push of how we all brought each other up to this fucking point. And where we're at right now, bro, this battle that you're going to have with Rum is going to be another West Coast legendary classic for the books. And it's something that we're going to remember forever. We're going to, and it's a part 2, which is even crazy. Crazy. You could probably do a trilogy off you and Rum.
I mean, who knows?
Are you even trying to live up to it, or is it like this is a whole new battle?
This is his own thing. Because, you get a movie like Scarface, and you can't remake it.
Yeah.
No matter who's the director, who's going to star it, you're not going to remake Brian De Palma and Al Pacino. You're not doing it. So I feel like because me and Rum have both progressed in life, both as MCs and as men, it can't be the same battle. We're rapping totally different. We're better. We're just, and if it's the same battle from the last time, then it doesn't show any progress. Right. It's almost like a failure. Even though it'd be a classic, it's dope. If it's the same battle as the last one, there's 9 years later. I think
there's no way they're not going to outdo it. In my opinion,
and that's how I feel.
Skill wise, absolutely. Yeah.
I believe they're so developed just in every even their image, the way they look, the way they move, the way they sound,
deliver,
just the content, the delivery, the control. They're both in just. If anything, that battle was a teaspoon. A small percentage of what we're gonna get from what's gonna happen.
Watching the Danny that battled Tay Rock a few months ago, that's a different Danny. Watching the Rum that battled Iron Solomon,
this is crazy.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Right.
So after that initial battle, you wind up going on a crazy run. You're not only battling on King of the Dot, but every other local league under the sun as much as possible.
Yeah, spit that heat.
I brought up all that in our battle.
But
shut up.
But you always had you came out to New York several years before that with the ambition of gracing platforms like Smack and being in that. So when you finally had your URL debut, because at a certain point I felt like there wasn't any more you could do on King of the Dot. It seemed like you needed I don't want to say a graduation. It just seemed like you'd hit your ceiling over there. Mm-hmm. And it was like, what can I do next? And then you made the transition to Smack. How did that finally feel to get that acceptance from that audience?
It felt like validation in a way. We battled, my first PG was J-Rail, Black Bear, you know what I'm saying, or Black Star Video. And it was like, damn, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And Mickey Fax is here, DNA's right there, Jazz the Rapper's right there. And I'm like, wow, I'm like really here in New York City on URL coming from LA. I was the first LA
and they
guy.
gave me a hotel. I'm not sleeping on the fucking bench.
Not going front.
Right.
They have a beautiful vibe out there. They really do. Like when I battled T-Rex, it was just like that. Rex, like the Rex battle, it was just, they have a warm cultural, it just feels like New York just has everybody raps in New York and you feel it when you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more VIP out here. You know what I mean?
Because and even not so much more of a personal mission, but it was more about there was a broader vision for me to go over the URL. It was like, let me break the barriers, let me break the doors in for acceptance for the West Coast.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We got street guys over here that can rap. Give us a chance. That's all we needed.
Right.
And fast forward, look at Geechee Gotti. Look at Rum Nitty.
Yeah.
Look at Emerson Kennedy. Look at all the domination
You,
that's
Geechee,
going
and
on.
Rum are arguably the best on there. That's it. Like it's hard for people to argue that.
Absolutely.
You're the reason why people would say the West is running the shit. You know?
Absolutely,
You're on
man.
a crazy run. Like all these years later, having this career, like potentially champion of the year season, and I feel like
Yes.
I feel like
clearly.
well, you could have.
Oh God.
I feel like you could have accomplished that several times over, but the biggest criticism people have of you is the fact is you take too many battles and oversaturate yourself. And is it difficult to find that balance between because I know like there's passion, but there's also you have like 9 kids, right? Or like 10 kids.
Well, Disaster said like 11 or something.
I didn't say anything.
Shut up.
What are you talking about? I never even mentioned that in our battle.
So you have 10 kids, and
I never even mentioned that in your battle.
that
Or
was-
your wife.
No, that was wrong battle. Wrong battle.
Yeah, you know, I
That
stayed
was
away
Pat
from
Stay.
just so
Shout
everybody
out to Pat
knows.
Stay.
Every battle he goes in,
Yeah.
people bring up his kids and wife, and it's the only thing people use against him that
Yeah.
they're able to get on him. And when we battled, I
Stayed away
made
from
sure that I wanted Danny to know that A, I respect him. B, I don't need to go low. You know what I'm saying? And C,
Which-
you better worry about the bars.
which is the mark of a great MC. And that's why that battle between you and I was just so legendary and so, I respected it. Because it was like, you didn't have to, I'm not finna go here to try to win. I'm gonna beat him with the mind.
Yeah.
Not gossip and drama and all that
Well,
shit.
we don't
So-
have beef like that, and it's not like a
Right.
situation where I hate you. And in
Right.
the past, I've said fucked up shit to battlers, but I grew out of that, and I feel like I've learned how to, there's a classy way around the shit if you're really skilled enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just,
yeah.
I kind of displayed that versus all your fucking opponents.
And it's not and it's not something that you like shy away from. You've been very open with the fact that you have a lot of kids and all that. So it's a lot, and some of them are grown now and stuff. But it's still like a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. So, you balance, just work, being a dad, being a husband. And so the oversaturation part is like, well, for one, I kind of just came from that, from battling. I battled every day, like literally. Like, I mean, that's how I kind of honed my skills. And when I started, it wasn't no leagues. It wasn't no organization. It wasn't no YouTube, no internet.
Come on, tell 'em.
It was just about going block to block, skill for skill. Didn't know what this guy had. Didn't know what he was gonna do. And then, especially growing up in LA, it's like it wasn't even safe to be a battle rapper.
Right.
Because when people were betting money and you might say the wrong thing.
Oh, he said tripping.
And all these guys are behind his entourage. You in the wrong hood. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful of the colors you got on. And it's just so many dangerous factors. Like I came from that, and I still carry that style or that raw battle rap style to this very day. Like I didn't start when it was leagues and organized. I started in the blocks.
We was just talking about some shit similar to this, why I don't respect certain battlers because they just watch the shit on YouTube and they're
Right,
like,
right.
I could do it now. But it's like, dog, before all this YouTube shit, before all the leagues, this is what it was.
Right.
You risked your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Guns is getting pulled out.
You
Facts.
sacrificed comfort. You sacrificed money. You sacrificed time. You sacrificed shit with your family. Like you were on your own, and it was basically investing in yourself into a dream rather than just doing it as a hobby where you pick up the phone and you're like, book me. You know what I mean? We really had to
We have to work.
book ourselves
have to
somehow.
grind.
And it's, you have to not only book yourself, find where the shit was happening. That was like part of the fucking deal. Like there was no, you know,
a battle
text
club.
message
There
or a
was like
battle.
a
You
battle
didn't, you
club,
didn't
like-
get no like
The
blasted
battle
text
club.
message with a bunch of people like there or a flyer sent to your phone. Like it wasn't like that back in the day. You had to know, figure out, find the shit in time, and show up and hope to God there ain't no crazy motherfuckers there that are gonna
Right.
that are more ready than you are.
Right.
And you don't know who the fuck they are.
Right. Well, with the guys that just kind of came up in this era or like the era before where they was basically YouTube babies and internet babies.
YouTube babies.
It's really
like
not their
that.
fault that they that they were born in that time. It's really not their fault, but I feel like at least
No, it's their slutty ass parents' fault.
do your research. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, it's like it seems like anybody could just watch it and say, "Oh, I could do that," and then they just jump in and do it, and it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't, like, especially the guys like you and I who really slept on park benches and shit like that.
This is what I'm trying to say is that ultimately there should be an understanding of the difference.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't do it or you shouldn't.
Right.
Or I'm necessarily not talking down on you. I'm talking myself up on you. Like I'm letting you know that we belong to a different cloth, kind of.
Right.
Rather than, obviously you're not going to be able to be part of that cloth no more because it's gone. It doesn't exist
It
no
don't
more.
exist no more.
You know what I mean? It's gone.
we're
can't.
literally like the last of.
We was
of
just
the-
talking about
of
this
the-
with Dumbfounded. We feel like the digital world and the digital age destroyed that. It pulled everyone off the street and put them online. Everyone's in Twitter Spaces and battling online and sending videos and shit like that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
But we had to really. Nobody even filmed when we were doing this. That's why.
Nobody even filmed.
Really, that's the
Facts.
reason why he doesn't have a lot of his early footage. Is for that to happen, somebody had to actually be the guy that carried a big ass bulky camera. And
Right.
nobody wanted to fucking do that. You wasn't about to carry. I wasn't about to show up to no
And-
video
and-
part.
and-
party
Hell
with
no,
a
and then
video
somebody gonna
camera.
snatch that shit anyway.
Exactly.
Holding
like-
the camera looking like a dumbass.
In the
like,
sections that these battles were taking place, you will get fucking got
Hell
for that. You
yeah.
get licked
Hell
with the
yeah.
quickness.
Yeah, man. Yeah, damn. We really are like the last of that generation.
Well,
That's
since y'all
crazy.
are both here, let's talk about the battle, the Disaster
us, me
versus
and him,
Danny
yeah.
Myers battle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
how like leading up to that or before, was Diz on your hit list?
Yes and no, because for one, I always looked like he's up here. He's that guy,
Right.
You know what I'm saying, in terms of the respect level I have for him and what he's done and the foundation that he laid for me to lay for other guys, for guys Ramidi and Geechee and B-Dot, and it was him. It was him, the Source, Ilmac. That's how I look at it.
Right.
But so it's like, what bad can you say about him? You know what I mean? But at the same time, this is like the pinnacle of testing your skill. If you're a battle rapper, this standing in front of Disaster was like pretty much. I know a lot of people say Mook and Lux; those are names get brought up, Hollow Don, things of that nature. But Disaster name is like has to be in there in that same conversation.
And then also the stylistically with your aggression that you have and just the way your energy, there's not anyone else that I feel like can match that.
to match the energy,
Besides
and here,
That's
so-
what excited me about the matchup. The prospect of the matchup for me first, I was like, all right, well, I was looking at it like a Dragon Ball character. I was like, all right, well, this Saiyan right here has a lot of energy and he has he has a lot of power. And I was just like, I feel like this battle would make it to where the shit that I'm screaming at him won't be overbearing to the people, because that's the problem, is contrasts in battles. So when you battle somebody who's more laid back and they're not feeding you enough, they ruin the fucking the
feel.
balance of the energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ruin it. You know what I mean? They ruin the flow of the energy, and it could go in their direction because of it. You know what I mean? So
True.
So I don't really like battling people that don't share that type of energy anymore. I want to battle high energy people, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a big prospect for me. I was like, yeah, man, this will be an explosive battle. It's a no-brainer for me, you know what I mean? And then comes a lot of the shit that I said to you, you know?
Well, I said a lot of shit to you too.
No, but I wanted to get off a lot of that shit on my chest. I think it was just kind of more like I wanted to know more because we never spoke about, like me, I got to know you more today. If I knew a lot of the stuff that you explained to me, my content would be different against you. I was more trying to figure out who the fuck you were.
No,
you
I think a lot of people don't know, and a lot of the things you shared today, this is exclusive.
And
So
if I knew
great.
that before, I feel like it would have been a different approach. For me, I wanted to get off my chest why I never ran into you. And it bothered me that I never ran into you. I'm like, why? I was like, I'm everywhere. I'm like in every fucking hood, like everywhere. Like, how did I not find Danny? You know what I mean? But like, you were just in different areas, and it just so happened if I was here, you were in New York, or like the way I hear it now is you were in a different pocket, but doing the same shit as me. You know what I mean?
Here's the good thing. Cool. Here's the good thing about that. Imagine Danny Myers and Disaster battled on a California street corner somewhere.
Right.
There's no footage of it.
Facts.
Because we battled and there's no video of it. It's just a legendary tale. That's all you get. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wouldn't have this. Obviously, wouldn't have the same gravity.
So it was probably not meant for us to run into each other back in.
What if we did and we both forgot?
Which is
in a parallel universe, we probably, you know what I'm saying, it might have happened.
You know how many people I've battled and they've told me later on.
I
battled Tantrum in 2002. I beat him in front of a college crowd in Santa.
You would remember Danny Myers.
I would remember Disaster.
You'd remember Disaster.
I remember Disaster, right.
With that being said, so I'm glad you brought it up. Parallel universe. You have all these different concepts that you've introduced to battle rap. What was the origins? What's the thought process behind that? Is that just creativity?
It was a fluke. It was just a bar. You know what I'm saying? I battled Jonai.
Right.
Battled Jonai. I think
was that after I battled him?
Before. It was before you battled him. So anyway, I had a bar and it was like, do you believe in a parallel universe? I do. This shit is insane. Well, when my father was in prison playing spades while I was working on my pen game. So I looked at the contrast and like, damn, and it was true. Because I'm like, damn, my dad done so many years in prison. While he's in there, I'm out here working on the pen. While he's in the pen, I was like, look at how our lives just went in different directions.
Right.
Even though I'm from him. So it was like, I thought just that concept of just ironic situations and different paths one can take in life. I said, yo, that was a dope concept. So I battled Young Cannon and I brought it back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it just became its own thing. And when I said it again, like, do you believe in a parallel universe? Now people start saying, I do.
That's how I came up with the, you know what rhymes with. I did it one time. It hit really hard. And then I'm like, I'm going to do it again. And once I did it the second time, that's when it stuck. So it started with the A-class rhymes with train tracks.
How great's that?
Right? You know what rhymes with A-class? Train tracks.
Wow.
Then when I battled HFK, I was like, you know what rhymes with Arab? Plane crash.
Oh.
So then after that, I started every single fucking person I battled. I would take their name. Like I battled Unanimous, who was like who's a big fan of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like people see his style and like they see the influence of Unanimous in my shit. He's from England. You know what I mean? When I battled, I was like, y'all know what rhymes with Unanimous? And I told the crowd there in England, I was like, huge fan of Diz. You know what I mean?
God just gives you that.
And it started happening in a way where every person I was battling, it would be a punch to their fucking name or something about them, like where it would be a one-liner about them. So it stuck, and now I do it in every battle.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about you though, like I've never seen somebody that bears their soul as much as you do in battles, and like you use it as your personal diary, and you put a lot of your real life out there, which is admirable but also really risky but the thing about you I notice is you don't really seem to let anything anyone says affect you in the slightest.
I never
it
care.
all rolls off your back.
Absolutely. I don't, because I always tell people, I feel like this, before you have bars and delivery and presence, you need composure. before you become a battle rapper.
Message.
Message.
Yeah, your defense game is up.
Because if you don't have composure, you shouldn't even be a battle rapper. Because somebody like this is gonna say some crazy shit, and then if it might throw you off your game, and now you're choking and stumbling, and you're angry. Your game plan isn't going to go the way you thought it was going to go because you got upset, and that's part of the game of battle rap. I gotta say some shit to get under your skin.
Right.
And you got and I gotta play defense against what you're trying to say to me. We're both trying to. It's a mind game. You know what I mean? And if you don't have composure, that's the first thing you need. First, before you even know how to rap, you need composure. And if you don't have that, don't even do it, because somebody's gonna fuck you up.
That's like almost a part of rebuttaling. Like it's and he's really good at rebuttaling, but that goes hand in hand with it because it's almost like. It's like phase one of rebuttaling is your composure and how you take the shots from the person delivering to you. And then phase two is you responding.
I got to respond to that one. Right.
And like you, and I could attest to that. Actually, when I was battling you, I knew I was fucking you up with certain words and you were just looking at me like, and I could just see it in your fucking eye and I knew nobody else did.
Right.
He really is really fucking good at that. Like it was really hard to make Danny look visibly affected. You have to really, really go above and beyond, or he's not even. He has a really good poker face. Thesaurus is good at that. You're good at that.
Not gonna work.
Well, like with him, it's next level. Danny.
Yeah, no, it is. It's pretty crazy.
Because I feel like I really don't care. I don't be giving a fuck what you talking about. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Because now I get a chance to rap too. And when I rap, I'm gonna say better shit than you.
Yeah, that's what you base it on.
More fucked up shit to you, and I get a chance to rebuttal the shit you're saying. And besides, whatever you're saying it don't affect my real life. It's like this theater. It's acting.
But what's so strange is you're putting so much of your real life in it, and that's like
that's kind of part of the therapeutic process too. You know, a lot of people that write, they'll tell you like, I put my pain, my heart into what I do. I'm not hiding nothing. I'm not no fake. You can't dig up nothing on me. Hey, this is it. This is me.
I don't see anyone that
I
really
respect it, man.
Besides, like literally the two of y'all, and there's a few other examples, are the people that, because it's your primary outlet, you know, you haven't made a lot of music that people have heard like that. You know what I mean? Like. That's what y'all do is battle rap.
Well, I take pride. He takes pride in being a battle rapper too. Like, you know, there was that wave of battlers for a while, and it kind of was like an epidemic almost. Like they all started saying shit. Like, I make songs though. Like like this is just like I just battle. Stone. You know what I mean? Like, no, but I'm a real rapper. But I'm in the studio. Oh, I got a record here though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You battle.
You put your full creativity in battling.
It's like you a rapper. I look at it like this.
Your expression.
They look at it like you a battler. I look at it like you a rapper. Yeah. You understand? Like for me, I take pride in this shit. There's no way you're going to make me feel like being a battler is less than what you do when I already know what we do is the most raw form and it's the real form. I'm not really chasing after the other shit. We chasing after the same shit. We really just want to advance the rhyme. We want it to just change and constantly get better every time. So we gotta push the pen. We're pen pushers.
That's exactly what that was been my that's been my crusade since the start. Is just to challenge myself and just really just to be one of the best rappers. You know what I mean? Just period. Even with think about me and Diz's battle. Like there was a lot of rapping going on.
Oh,
it's not a lot of you got punchlines and all these hate makers and all that stuff. But in between that, it's a lot of dope rapping between what we was doing.
Yeah, we did a lot of rapping.
Well, and
that's the art of it, the beauty of it.
People that are fans of Danny Myers or just have watched your trajectory from the jump, they've seen like all these things happen. They've seen the passion that you put into it. And like some people, it might just the level of rawness and lack of affectation that you put into your shit might be off-putting to certain people because it makes them feel uncomfortable because they're not comfortable in their own skin, but they see how comfortable you are, good, bad, and ugly, and it makes them feel insecure because you're so secure. And then there's others that are attracted to that and inspired by that and see this dude put up his own money in a battle, and then this dude did all this, had all this crazy shit happen to him, but then it endeared hears you, and like there's this whole like cult fan base that's like rooting for you. The Yikes children's like
Yikers Island. Shout out to
Yikers Island.
And it's really interesting just like to see like how much of your real life intersects with battle rap to the point where like you reunited with one of your kids or two of your kids,
my
right?
Twins.
Your twins.
That's the craziest shit ever, man.
Because before we all thought you had 8 kids and then it became 10. Tell that story.
I had twins, Malik and Dominique, when I was 18. I had twins. Their mom wound up getting it with another guy, and then she moved to Compton, and then from there she moved the kids to Atlanta, and just cut off all communication with me for whatever reason.
Did you know you had them?
Yeah. We were staying together. Okay. We were staying together, and for up until they were like 1.5, we were living together, and then she's like, I don't want to be with you. Just out of nowhere. It wasn't like it was a domestic situation we're fighting. It was none of that. That was the most confusing part. So she just moves them to Atlanta, and she disappears off the map. I've got private eyes. I'm paying people to look for her. I'm doing internet searches. Nothing. And out of the blue, 17, 19 years later, I get a message from my daughter. And she's like, yo, I just saw you. Are you my dad? I just saw you on BET. Are you my dad? And I'm like, oh my God, Dominique. Like, what? Malik, where's your brother? Like, call me right now. And we reunited because they saw me on BET.
And then reunited at a battle, right?
And we reunited.
That's amazing.
At a battle. In Atlanta.
Nuts.
You're going to make me cry, man.
Yeah, man. It was the crazy. It's like battle rap helped me find my
documentary,
kids.
man. We need a doc on you, man.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Battle
Danny
rap
Myers,
helped
ladies
me
and
find
gentlemen.
my children, man. That's real shit. I feel like without me being, famous and all that, semi-famous, whatever you want to call it, I would have never found them again, ever. That's crazy.
And that's dope that they even sought you out and didn't feel no type of way about because kids don't know, like,
right? They don't know. They don't know, like, and it was and
that you still wanted to be in their life.
Facts, man. And their mom had lied to them. Their mom had told them I was dead and all kind of stupid, crazy stories, and they never believed that shit. Man. They never believed that shit. They kept seeking me out.
But the ill thing is to add, not that you don't look unique as fuck, that people would be like, okay, this guy, but you have your battle rap name is your government name.
Yeah, so absolutely. It's like it's crazy because people be thinking like, hey, your name Daniel. Hey, what's your real name? Leagues be trying to book me flights, and
you're like, it's Danny Myers, motherfucker.
They be like, yo, hey, we're trying to book you to come out to New York City or come to Florida. We need your government name. I'm like, it's actually Danny. not Daniel.
The funniest guy ever.
Not this or that. It's actually Lord. Daniel
Myerson the third.
Yeah, something like that. And that came about because like I had a bunch of stupid rap names. I had Spontaneous Combustion back in 90s.
Oh, that is so you.
Yeah.
That is
you are
spontaneous. That's what I'm calling you from now on. Fucking
my dog Spontaneous Combustion.
Man, that's such a name he would come up with too.
Like from South Central.
But that, back in the 90s, so I had D-Flow.
Yeah.
Spontaneous Combustion.
D-Flow.
I was D-Flow first. And then there was Raw Footage. Madness.
Raw Footage.
And
Raw Footage is a pretty hard name, actually. I like that.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, man?
Those aren't that bad. Those aren't that bad.
I was like, why do I need a character? Why do I need to hide? Like, what do I need this for? I was like, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be myself. I'm gonna be Danny Myers. You know what I'm saying? I see Joe Budden. And I'm like, that's his actual name. Like, so you can use your name.
So you gave up on naming yourself.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm just Danny Myers. And then some guy on Twitter.
We both were given our names, so it makes sense that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, yeah, we were given our names. I didn't choose my name.
Me neither.
My shit was at a fucking like a house party. I didn't really have one. I used to go by a bunch of different shit. I used to go by Bobby Big Blunts. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So
mine was from a T-shirt.
I pretty much was at a house party and I destroyed probably 10 battlers in a row.
Okay.
And it was like one of those house parties that I showed up to, and I used my talent to make friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And pretty much like there were just people asking me like, what do you go by? And I'm like, I don't really fucking have a rap name like that, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, you're like a disaster. You like fucking just wrecked everything. I'm like, yeah, disaster. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it definitely clicked.
Disaster stuck.
It clicked. It did. I used it right away.
Wow.
And I just became it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, around like 16 years old, I would say, or 15, or like late 15.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I
my
never knew that.
My shit was literally from a T-shirt that said Lush on it, and I just got expelled from school, went to juvie, started a new school. My shirt said Lush. People didn't know my name, started calling me Lush, and from graffiti, added the one, boom de whoop de whoop.
Fire,
yeah.
fire, fire.
Ain't no real hood names you selecting for yourself. It's a moniker that's gonna be bestowed upon you.
There
every
you
time.
go.
But,
and I just went by Danny. I'm like, I'm just myself.
Yeah, no, that's the only other way out.
Well, just I think the lesson here that everybody could glean amongst the several gems that were dropped throughout this discussion is just be yourself and follow your heart and your dream, and like there's no limit to what you can achieve. No Master P.
Absolutely.
But no Master P.
Any final thoughts for the people before we sky up out this motherfucker?
Yo, man, Danny Myers, man. Follow me on Instagram, Danny the Bar Guy. I want to shout out my brother.
So you deleted your
I got hacked.
Okay.
My old Instagram got hacked, man.
His password is like 1234
Nah,
Danny.
man.
Danny 1234.
I want to shout out my brother Tyrant. You know what I mean? Y'all look out for
Shouts
him.
to Dog.
He's on Ransom's newest album, No
Fire.
Rest for the
Fire.
Wicked. So y'all stay tuned for him. And appreciate y'all for having me on here. I gotta go get in this pit with the man Rum Nitty and create
Come on,
another.
man. That's gonna be a classic.
Another battle rap classic.
That's for the West Coast Bible, right there.
we threw that hoe. We threw there. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it wouldn't be right. Otherwise.
Wouldn't be right if you wasn't there, man.
So.
That's a fact.
With that being said, the legendary bar god himself, Disaster, and Lush Uno, we
God
about
tier
this
bitch.
biatch. Out this biatch. Out this biatch.